Did you know that the White House, a symbol of power and democracy, was once built for an amount that today seems unbelievable? Back in the early 1800s, it was constructed for just $230,000. But over time, the costs to maintain and modernize it have skyrocketed. From monumental renovations to security upgrades, the White House is not just the president's residence. It's a fortress packed with history and massive investments. Have you ever wondered how much it would cost to build a replica of it today? In today's video, we'll dive into how the White House has transformed over the years and the jaw-dropping price of recreating this masterpiece. Stick around. You're in for some surprising numbers and fascinating facts. When construction of the White House began in 1792, engineers estimated the cost would be around $200,000. Of course, this was before the word unexpected even existed. After 8 years of delays due to poor roads, tight budgets, and a shortage of skilled labour, the White House was finally completed in 1800 at a cost of $232,300. Adjusted for inflation, that amount would be around $7.6 million today. Now, if you think that price was high, the costs only go up from here. If the US government wanted to recreate that original design with 2 floors, 36 rooms, and 11,000 square feet of space, it would be expensive, but still within reach for a few millionaires. But then it gets tricky. Over the years, various presidents have made upgrades and expansions that raised the price considerably. Under Roosevelt's administration, for example, the West Wing was added, becoming a permanent part of the building. At the time, the cost was about $65,000, which would be nearly $2.1 million today. And what happened after that? Well, prepare for a surprise. When Truman took office, the White House was on the verge of collapse. Cracked walls, compromised foundations, and floors so worn down they felt like walking on a roller coaster. After an evaluation, engineers concluded that the building was at risk of imminent collapse. So the government decided to practically rebuild the White House, replacing the foundations with a steel structure, creating 2 underground floors and doubling the number of rooms. The result? The White House we know today. And how much did that cost? Around $5.4 million at the time. In today's money, that would be about $61.5 million. By then, the total spent so far was about $93.5 million. And if you think that's expensive, wait until you hear about the garden. Today, the construction of any large building, especially in Washington, D.C., costs far more than it did in the past. Just for business insurance, licensing fees, and all the bureaucracy involved, the average cost of building a luxury or government building ranges between $500 and $1,000 per square foot. And of course, that doesn't include labour costs. Back when the original building was constructed, labour was provided by enslaved African Americans, as well as European architects and engineers. Thankfully, today we don't rely on unpaid labour. However, even with fair wages, labour costs are much higher. Today, public bidding is required for a project of this scale, and considering the sensitive nature of the White House, everyone involved in the project must undergo a thorough background check. After all, the White House isn't just a home, it represents the United States to the entire world. So only the best professionals and companies are hired, and of course, that comes at a cost. But the biggest factor contributing to the White House's sky-high maintenance costs is security. Without a doubt, the White House is the most fortified residence in the world. And with good reason. Throughout history, 4 US presidents have been assassinated, and another 11 have survived assassination attempts. Not to mention the attacks President Trump faced while still campaigning. Because of this, security has been constantly upgraded as threats have become more frequent and sophisticated. Today, the White House is surrounded by more than 1.5 miles of fencing, and this is no ordinary fence. Its height has been doubled from 6 feet to almost 12 feet, and it's made of reinforced steel, capable of withstanding explosions and even vehicle impacts. How much did that cost? A whopping $64 million. Additionally, the White House has about 147 windows, each made with the latest bulletproof glass. This type of security was put to the test in 2011 when a shooter tried to kill President Obama. None of the bullets managed to penetrate the windows. And the price for all this? Around $1 million. And that's just the beginning. In 2023, during Biden's administration, the White House underwent a $50 million renovation of the Situation Room, where the president receives security updates and coordinates operations. This room was created after the failed Bay of Pigs invasion in Cuba in 1961 and has since become a symbol of national security. But the real luxury is beneath the White House. There's an underground bunker called the Presidential Emergency Operations Center, but rumors suggest there are even more secret tunnels beneath the White House, possibly connecting it to places like the Pentagon and Blair House. For those interested, we've got a video on the channel specifically about what's beneath the White House. Click the card to check it out. These structures began during the Cold War and are still a mystery to the public. It's estimated that in 2010, building one of these tunnels cost around $376 million. And of course, the expenses don't stop there. The famous Rose Garden, one of the most visible landmarks of the White House, underwent a $3.4 million renovation in 2020. And if you had to build a similar garden today, it would cost about $10 million plus $1 million per year for maintenance. This doesn't even include the cost of preserving the building as a historical monument. The US government spends millions to maintain the White House's integrity, restoring everything from its architecture to artworks dating back to the American colonial period. For example, the Oval Office underwent a renovation to ensure it stayed true to Theodore Roosevelt's original vision. Now, if you thought spending $1 million on a rose garden was excessive, wait until you hear about what's inside the White House. Beyond its historical artifacts, the White House features a range of amenities and luxuries that, if rebuilt today, would cost around $1.1 million. And I'm not even counting the renovations made by previous presidents, like the $1.75 million renovation by Trump. So what would it cost to build a replica of the White House today? According to a 2017 Zillow study, considering 132 rooms, 35 bathrooms, and all the security features and amenities, the price would be $397 million. Adjusted for inflation, today that number would climb to $500 million. And if you want to buy your own White House, start saving now. You'll probably need 18,000 years of savings just for the down payment. The White House is a significant symbol of the US government, but the ongoing renovations and expansions have sparked public debate, especially regarding the costs involved. Given the current fiscal challenges, many are questioning the need for some of these luxury upgrades. The increasing security, while essential, also raises concerns about how public funds are being used. After all these expenses are paid for by US taxpayers. If you enjoyed these revelations about the White House and want to learn even more interesting facts, don't forget to hit that like button. And of course, share this video with your friends. They'll be just as shocked by these numbers as you are. Got any questions or want to know more about any specific detail? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear what you think and answer your questions. Don't miss the next videos, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss anything. See you next time.